Robotics products are used for force insertion of precise parts such as bearings and oil seals. Robotics Center Master automatically centers when force fitting or inserting various precise parts in the assembly process. By using Center Master, you can solve problems related to force fitting, leading to improved productivity and reducing the error rate. Are you in trouble because of scratches, wedging, tearing, oil leaks, loose fitting parts, runout errors, mechanical damage, line shutdown, assembly errors, and other problems generated in the force fitting process? Center Master will solve your problems. It improves force insertion quality by compensating for positional and angular errors very effectively. When an axis with positional errors approaches a hole, it contacts the chamfer and the shaft moves horizontally. With united center axes after the shaft moves, insertion force fitting starts. The axis with an angular error approaches the hole. When the axis reaches the hole, it moves along with the chamfer. When the axis reaches the other side, the shaft starts insertion after compensating for the angular error using reaction force. Center Master improves force fitting quality through insertion and force fitting after precise centering. The figure on the left is a graph showing the change without using Center Master, which has a very large scattering of force-fitting pressure. The figure on the right is a graph showing the change after using Center Master, which is very flat and has small scattering. Therefore, it provides uniform quality of force fitting as well as dramatically improving product quality. Center Master can dramatically reduce the number of assembly errors and give uniform force-fitting quality. Even when the maximum force-fitting power is lowered, the clamping force will increase, leading to fewer errors and a higher operating rate, as well as reduced time for establishing a production line and lower investment cost. It prolongs the life cycle of assembly machines and makes the machine's maintenance easier. Center Master is largely divided into two parts by purpose, force fitting and insertion. And Center Master for force fitting is composed of B series, T series, and S series. The B series is for force insertion. It compensates for positional errors, angular errors, and direction errors after twisting. The BS model has no flange. The T series is the same as the B series. Because it has no compensation function for direction errors after twisting, it does not rotate. The TS series also has no flange. The S series is for force insertion and is the same as the B series, and a load cell is built in so as to measure the force fitted. The SS model is a straight type with no flange. The A series and the LA series are used for insertion. The A series is for insertion, compensating for positional errors, angular errors, and direction errors after twisting. The series for insertion cannot endure excessive loads. The LA series is for insertion, being the same as the A series. It has a lockup function suppressing vibration when moving. Customers can choose the appropriate model according to the intended use. The name of each Center Master model is marked on the product. The model names are indicated as follows. The first 4 digits in the model name is a class number by intended use. The second 3 digits show elastic center distance. Elastic center distance will be explained in detail later. The third 3 digits refer to the external diameter of the tool's top plate. The fourth 2 digits indicate the load rating of the S and SS series. To properly select a Center Master, there are 6 considerations customers should remember. Assembly tolerance, maximum pressure, elastic center distance, the tool's allowable load, error range compensated, and the size of parts. To select a Center Master, customers should know whether it's for force fitting or insertion. When the external diameter of a part assembled is larger than the internal diameter of a hole, pushing the part into the hole is done by force fitting. In this case, customers should select one for force fitting. When the external diameter of a part assembled is smaller than the internal diameter of a hole, insertion is done. In this case, customers should select one for insertion. When selecting a center master, customers should compare the maximum allowable pressure in the catalog and select one that has a larger rated maximum pressure than that needed for force fitting a part. Elastic center distance means the distance from the bottom of center master to the end of a part. Customers should select a model that matches this elastic center distance in the catalog. The allowable elastic center distance can be within more or less than 5 millimeters of the reference value marked in the catalog. The tool's allowable load is the value where the weight of an assembly tool and parts are added. It should be designed so as to be smaller than that suggested in the catalog. Caution is needed because the compensation function for centering error won't work, or a reduced life cycle can happen when customers select one that exceeds a tool's allowable load. The allowable error range as compensated in the center master is within 2 millimeters. However, in fact, the range is the sum of the volume of two parts assembled chamfer, and the maximum is 2 millimeters. Customers should select a center master where the assembled part's external diameter is smaller than 90% of the tool's side's external diameter. The external diameter of center master's tool side is marked in the catalog or an assembly drawing. When compensating for centering errors, center master moves very smoothly. This smooth motion can minimize product damage. The value that indicates how smoothly it moves is the horizontal coefficient. Customers can discover the value, and it ranges from 1 to 1.5 kilograms of force per millimeter, even though it may differ slightly depending on the model. To sum up the center master selection procedure, customers should first select whether it is for force fitting or insertion. When selecting for force fitting, they can select the B series, T series, or S series by its intended use. The B series is for force insertion. It compensates for positional errors, angular errors, and direction errors after twisting. The BS series has no flange. The T series is the same as the B series. Because it has no compensation function for direction errors after twisting, it does not rotate. The TS series also has no flange. The S series is for force insertion and is the same as the B series, and a load cell is built in so as to measure the force fitted. The SS model is a straight type with no flange. The A series and LA series are used for insertion. The A series is for insertion, compensating for positional errors, angular errors, and direction errors after twisting. The series for insertion cannot endure excessive loads. The LA series is for insertion, being the same as the A series. It has a lockup function suppressing vibration when moving. Customers can choose the appropriate model according to the intended use. After selecting a specific model, customers should commonly compare maximum pressure, elastic center distance, the tool's allowable load, error range compensated, and the external diameter of the tool side and part, and choose the proper model in the catalog. Generally, center master assembles the given parts by the order of center master at the bottom of servo press, first, second, assembly tool, and lastly, assembly parts. The S, B, and T series with a flange have two kinds of holes by which a flange can be connected to blot. Using screws, hole A and the center master's flange can be connected from top to bottom. It is connected to hole C at the bottom of center master by using screws. Both sides of the tool side and center master are connected from the bottom to top using screws. The SS, BS, and TS series with no flange connect to center master from top to bottom using screws. The tool side and center master are connected from bottom to top using screws. The A series and LA series connect both machine side and tool side from bottom to top using screws. Center Master can be used in a horizontal direction. When installing it horizontally, customers should install a ball plunger, a simple gravity compensation device so as not to make the tool part sag from gravity. When Center Master gets external force, both directions of force and tensile are changed by 0.2 millimeters. This is the internal gap needed to smoothly compensate for centering errors. This gap generally does not have much influence on force fitting. Force that has the same direction with force fitting in Center Master is designed to endure up to the maximum pressure marked in the catalog. However, an excessive load with unusual direction, such as a tensile load, unbalanced load, or side load, can be damaged. Customers should be cautious when using it. Usually, when using Center Master, force fitting speed does not exceed 30 millimeters per second. The temperature around the Center Master can range from 0 degrees Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius. It can be used in the heating of head press fitting, but in this case, insulation is needed for the heat not to be transferred to the Center Master. For further information about use and installation, you can consult the catalog and directly consult CNM Robotics.